I'm coming. Hi. 15, good enough. You guys hear me okay? Actually, I can't tell until I go here. What's up, Allison? Net Official. Tanis, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, from Florida, be there shortly. Take your time. Crystal, hello. What we got here? Oh, we're going through a slew of information today. Oh, yeah, Lucas, NFL. They're in the hot seat right now. In fact, I posted about it yesterday. So we're just going to continue talking about it because we had some help from a good friend of mine. You guys ever heard of Tracy Beans? She's a huge activist online. Sound? How's it sound? You guys should be able to hear me, no? I'm much better, Tanis. Like, seriously, new person. Whole new person now. Yeah, these headphones on my ears like make me nuts. Like the cartilage in my ears is like so pressed down lately. I gotta keep them off. So I kind of have the mic like right here. All right, good. As long as it sounds good, I'm happy with that. The new edition. That was sent to me. What else? Where's that sticker? Oh, check this out. Is it in my pocket? I don't know where I put it. Someone sent me this weird sticker from Hong Kong. It's like really rare, apparently. Has to do with like Pokemon and stuff, but I never got into Pokemon, but the fact that it's rare, I think that's really cool. So I want to give that person a shout out if they show up. Higher. How's that? Looks like I have a little beard. Alright, what do we got here? Just making sure everything's up to date, and then we'll get going here. In fact, let me pull up a different screen for you guys. Not the break image. We'll go right here. So this is what I want to show you guys kind of first. It's not really on this chart now. I actually recorded it. It was about an hour and a half ago, but we're still seeing this crazy swirl all the way from the Gulf up into the Great Lakes right now. Now, the Great Lakes had like gale force winds and stuff yesterday. It has since passed for the most part. So I'm going to show you the video I got, and I want to show you something very odd that happened down in the Gulf. I kind of figured out why it happened, so it's not like completely crazy off the hook stuff you don't usually see, but it's just very odd to see how this worked out. A storm basically moving backwards south into the Gulf. Basically, it was sitting right here, about to hit Houston, Louisiana, and then it kind of shot down back towards Mexico and met up with another storm. So I caught some of it, and we also caught a confirmed meteor on this chart, and we talked about that yesterday, and I was like, is that a meteor? Could that be a meteor? Sure enough, it was. I looked on American Meteor Society. We have the meteor shower peaking last night and the night before, so it just made perfect sense, and it was scheduled to go right over the central part of the U.S. There were some sightings in PA and stuff like that. It's been really cloudy, so hard to see, but I forgot that meteor shower was this year, or not this year, this season right now. It's a yearly one, just like the Leonid meteor shower. So I'm going to pull up a picture of that. It's actually in the thumbnail. Here's the NFL topic I was talking about. NFL in trouble after delaying tornado warning 6 minutes in Dallas, Texas. So while that tornado was going on during the NFL game, the Cowboys versus the Eagles. Now, they're in Dallas, Texas. Keep in mind, well, I mean, their new stadium's not really in Dallas, but they're the Dallas Cowboys. So Dallas, come on. They would not talk about this tornado. There's some people that said other stations that were playing the game did, but this was straight out of ABC or NBC. What is it? NBC affiliate KXAS TV. They waited 6 minutes before interrupting the Cowboys' home game against the Eagles on Sunday. We made a mistake. They're admitting this. They came out and admitted this. I believe the owner of the Cowboys admitted it, or at least briefly talked about it. He's a man of few words, just like Bill Belichick. Interrupting the football game with a tornado warning. The company said in a Monday evening statement, when it comes to dealing with severe weather, we know that seconds matter. If you know that seconds matter, why did 6 minutes go by? That's a lot of seconds. We should have broken into football programming sooner. We apologize and want you to know that we're doing everything in our power to make sure it doesn't happen again. Everything in your power should be simply passing a note to the dudes talking on the microphone saying, hey, guess what? We need to cut to something more important than this football game. Pretty simple, in my opinion. Am I wrong? Jay Shelton, this might be something on your end. I think everyone can hear me. Basically, did you just hear my football rant? We'll start with that. Oh, and I got some information on merchandise. I'll write that down so I don't forget. Yeah, audio is good, right, Crystal? I thought it was good. Jay, do you have a volume thing on your computer? Are you listening on headphones? Really? Alright, I'm just going to put the mic right there. Alright, I'll put the headphones on. Forget it. It's much easier this way. My voice just sounds really muffled. Loud and clear. There, fine. Headphones on. Oops. All right, so did you guys hear the football thing at least? So I'll talk about it again. I'll probably end up talking about it 4 or 5 times. Glory, not so much. In fact, ta-da! We have an invest possibly brewing right now in the Gulf, but I'm going to show you why. Now, it's hard to see on this chart because this is the end of what I was trying to show you guys, but here's the video I'm going to pull up. I don't know how I'm talking low. I'm kind of yelling right now. All right, anyway, let's move on here. So I'm going to show you this video, and I want you to look at this storm system. I can't get comfortable. I'm going to show you this storm system that moved backwards in the Gulf. I found out why. It's not like a crazy anomaly, but what I really want to show you is the meteor we caught. We caught a meteor on this chart, and this chart's known for catching meteors. It's infrared. You could change to long wave infrared. And usually those are the charts that show you meteors. And a lot of people are like, oh, those are glitches. They're not, because they happen in groups and then they just stop. So, people yelling outside. Honey worked. Yes, it did work. The honey is working. All right, so anyway, like I said, all right, so I captured this video about an hour ago. Now, I want you to look down here in the Gulf. Let me back it up a little bit. All right. So we got this crazy swirl going on. Like, I could look at this for days. This is not something you see every day. If you see these swirls, they're about half this size, and they're swirling right around the northeast, like this. You'll get a swirl on its own right here, but to see this tail that comes down all over all the states, I mean, the wind in the Carolinas and Virginia and Chesapeake Bay was unbelievable over the last couple hours. In fact, let's look at that really quick first, because I got the jet stream pulled up. Now, you can see here why this is happening. So we got a big dip in the jet stream. It comes straight up, and now, right now, I'm covered in this high wind rate. This is about to hit us now. Central New York all the way to northern New York, and then that's going to start moving into Vermont and New Hampshire and even the west side of Massachusetts, Long Island, especially the coastal areas. There's going to be some high winds today. Right now, it's like beautiful out. I mean, that's like straight up sunshine, blue sky, everything. After like 4 or 5 days of just gray, it was nothing but gray here. and it was really annoying. All right, let me pull this up quick. All right. So anyway, you see the jet stream right here. And we're going verbatim right now, guys, so there's no rhyme or reason to this video whatsoever. I just like getting on here, showing you, let's get rid of that, showing you guys stuff that's going on and what I'm going to be talking about later on today. But so about 6 hours ago, this thing came down right over northern Texas, through Oklahoma, and it kind of pitched up this way, and the severe weather was like right here. Severe wind, actually. I shouldn't say severe weather. Even though there's a lot of rain associated with this band that we're looking at. By band, I mean the band that's the size of the United States, basically going up this way. And even better would be this view here a couple hours ago. This was just, I would say 10 hours ago. So we had some severe weather right at the edge of Alabama into Georgia. We had a big strip line going through basically the same area where Nestor hit right here. There was some straight line lightning there, very heavy winds. And then this thing in the Gulf here. So I'm going to show you this in the Gulf. I'm going to hit play first, try to get this little bar out of the way. Watch where this storm goes and how it connects to this thing down in Mexico. It's pretty odd. Look at that. It's moving backwards. And you don't see that too often. And the reason you don't see it too often is because we have a constant upflow in the Gulf coming this way or coming this way. So a lot of times what you'll see is these storms will start brewing in the same area that this one shot back down to and met with another storm. You'll see them kind of brew here, and then they'll kind of sit and wait until all these different pressures, the high pressures, low pressures, the Bermuda Atlantic pressure, kind of release and let it go. Remember, low pressure systems naturally want to move in a northern direction in the northern hemisphere. If you're in the southern hemisphere, they want to move south. That's just the way it goes based on the Earth's rotation for those of you that believe in that type of stuff. No opinion, no comment there. But anyway, so you got this storm moving in a southwestern direction, meeting with another storm. It was almost like they were connected by a chain. I mean, tell me this doesn't look odd to you. So we got a big storm down here. I wish I had a view down here. I do, but I didn't record it. And then you got this thing. It looks like a comet just shooting down towards that storm. And then, boom, they meet up, and look how big it gets there. It looks like a tail of a freaking comet. I'm not saying it's a comet. It just looks like one. It takes on the shape. And then it expands and then dissipates like that, and you see it's gone. It's not in Mexico. I already checked. It kind of breaks into this rain, but then you see all of a sudden the flow, like the higher level flows are moving in the normal direction up towards this nor'easter shape type thing that's currently over the Great Lakes. But the storm itself is moving southwest. And then you see the rest of the flow, the lighter areas, going straight up. It's like it went in the opposite direction of the actual flow of the shear winds. Now, speaking of shear winds, we're going to find those. Well, this is these are basically our shear winds here. So you can see jet streams coming this way. And just because the jet stream's up this high in the middle of the country and then up into the northeast, that momentum brings everything down like this. So what this is doing is this is pancaking down anything that's in this area. So in my opinion, what happened here is that the jet stream is so intense right now, the upper level winds, this is like 30,000 feet up in the air. So airplanes have to adjust to this type of wind pattern when they're flying all over the country. If you were to go to radarscope24.com, you could see that a lot of planes that are coming out of New York are avoiding this area. They go around it, or they'll come right out of JFK, LaGuardia, and go straight down the coastline. A lot of times they'll take off here, and then they'll go down. I mean, my experience when I would go to Florida and stuff like that, you'd leave the airport, you'd come out over Long Island Sound, over to Connecticut, you make a big loop, and then you start coming down this way. Now, they wouldn't want to do that today because unless they stay underneath the wind, that's all, technology I don't know about. My brother's a meteorologist for the Navy. He does airplanes and stuff like that, so I could ask him about that. He's in Virginia. But anyway, long story short, guys, this thing barreling down like this, you can see these lines all coming. See the little white arrows? That means the flow is coming this way. And then from the Pacific Ocean over the Baja and then into Mexico, the flow is coming this way, and then it comes up. So you would expect anything in this area to go up this way, and for the most part, it is. I mean, back to this video. This is the video I wanted to show you. For the most part, it's following those arrows. Boom, up like that, up like that, up like this. And then we got the swirl over here. But this storm, for whatever reason, just wanted to shoot to the southwest, meet up with another storm, almost like a Fujiwara effect with hurricanes. Now, hurricanes, when they get about 800 miles apart from each other, they start to interact. The low pressures are so strong, the millibars in them are so low that they want to attract each other. They almost want to become a bigger storm. It's based off of what that movie is. Now I got to ask you guys what the movie is. The Perfect Storm, right? Let me just make sure you got everything's okay. Now I hear you. Glad you're back. I'm glad to be back, Carolyn. Thank you very much. Last night was so miserable and gloomy. Vereen, where are you? That it was so miserable, because it was miserable here too in PA. 6 inches of snow in Cass, Colorado tonight. Yeah, that's higher altitudes, right, Carl? Nice skull in the back. Yeah, I know. That thing's great. How about this one? This was a little expensive. It's got a scorpion on the head. Central PA. Okay. I'm in Northeast PA. This thing's actually part of another set, so you could like put your hand in it. So like it sits like this. I love Halloween, by the way. It's my favorite holiday in the world. So it sits like this. There's nothing morbid about skulls, by the way. I'll teach you guys about skulls that don't know. I have a lot of crystal skulls. Northern Virginia. Okay, so Northern Virginia, that's good. You guys had some heavy winds today, no? Colorado, keep that snow. Yeah, it's just a matter of time before we're on here daily talking about winter storms, guys. There you go, Tanis. You saw it. But yeah, this thing's pretty cool. It's missing an eye. You're supposed to put an eyeball in here. Like a marble or whatever you want. You can put anything in there if you want to. But yeah, I've had this for a long time. This thing's really awesome. Oh boy, what do we got? Hampton's Quality. All right, so where were we? Good morning, Raymond. Scorpion. All right, let's see if you can even see it. This thing's like hard as a rock. I've dropped this a million times. It just will not break. It's stronger than glass. It's like a porcelain. But yeah, it's a scorpion, if you could see it. There you go. And then you could set it up like this, or set it up like that. Intricate stuff. I have some other cool stuff in here. I'll show you guys over time, but I don't want to get off track too much here. So, all right, let's it would for a shrunken head. See? Barely fit my hand in there. All right, so good. I'm glad you guys can hear everything. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right, so back to what I was talking about. We have a couple topics to cover, and I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to make another video for later today. So we'll get more into the NFL thing, and Tracy Beans, our good friend. The stream is healthy. That's a good thing. All right, so as far as that storm goes, so what do you guys think about that? It's pretty interesting, right? How this storm is moving southwest and then meeting with another storm, opposed to all the weather being shot up by the currents of the airflow in the Gulf. So it's just different to see stuff like that. I've shown you some storms that kind of like shoot in a direction and meet with another storm, then they expand. But to catch one finally on video and have it like this is just great. So I'm going to play it one more time, get rid of the bar, and just look at that. And you see the meteor right there. We're getting into the meteor next. Just wild, and then it dissipates, and then everything back to normal. And this is finally lifting up over the Great Lakes. Got a little dump coming here. This is going to be something to watch out for, guys. We'll be talking about that in the near future. Here's the meteor, by the way. Let's move on to the meteor. I want you to watch this part of the screen right here. It's hard to freeze frame it, but here we go. Quickly. Boom. Right there. So I'm just going to hit replay over and over. See it? See it? See it? See it? See it. Okay, so now a lot of people, like I said, would be like, "Oh, that's just a glitch in the chart." It's really not, guys. I've been watching this chart for over 3 years now. Every time I see one of those, I'll go to American Meteor Society, and if it's not that day, it's the next day. They'll report. I mean, that was a long streak, and that was in the middle of the night too. That was 18 hours prior to what you're seeing here. This thing shot across South Dakota, right down the center of the country, basically. I tried to see if it ended up down in this area, but it did not show that. So it's usually picked up in one frame because they're moving so quick. Now, a meteor is up in the air. It does not touch the ground. A meteorite is when they actually hit the ground and the Earth's surface. That's when they become meteorites, usually much smaller. But that was a really good a view of one right there. So what I did is I can't believe I forgot about this. And I actually have it on this tab here. I don't. So we're just going to type in meteor showers. And it should pop up. Here it is. The Orionid meteor shower peaks last night and today. So here we go. A meteor shower is a celestial event, blah, blah, blah. We don't want to talk about that. We want actually what's going on. Which one can I use without getting in trouble? All right, this one, CBS. We've been ripping on CBS lately. All right, so stargazers throughout the United States can catch the Orionids, streaking through the sky this week. Considered one of the most beautiful meteor showers of the year by NASA. The Orionids are expected to peak Monday night into Tuesday morning. So think about that. What's today? Wednesday. Yesterday. All right, that's the Maui fire we're talking about. So this was back into Tuesday night, right here. Hit play again. Right there. So it shot right across Iowa. It got a little bit into this area. Could have even reached Louisiana, for all I know. There has not been many reports on it. There was one report out of Iowa about an hour and a half after this time. This is 6:26:32 UTC, probably around 5:26:32 if I back it up. In fact, let me just see if I can see the time here. It's 5:11 UTC right now. All right, we're talking 6:30 UTC time on the 22nd, which was yesterday, Tuesday. So the timing lines up perfectly. They said the center of the country would be able to see this. The northeast was be able to see this if it wasn't covered in clouds, which it's not right now. So maybe we'll get lucky and have a couple lingering ones. It always extends the dates they say, and it actually pre-sends the dates that they say. So you can see that for about 4 days, but it is one of the most popular meteor showers out there, which is really cool. That stuff is so much fun to see. Orionids. Thank you, True Helper. Where have you been? Actually, no, where have I been is the question. I'm sorry. Yeah, the algorithms are unbelievable. All right, so next topic. So we covered that backwards moving storm in the Gulf, which is very cool. We covered the big question mark in the middle of the country, which is also very cool because you don't see that a lot. And now we're going to be talking about a fire in Maui. This just broke out. So I'm going to read this to you. A little boring reading, but it's all good. I found this airport, by the way. Dun, 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 dun. Number 20. And number 20. So we found the exact area. You can see the fire right there. And I'm just going to read a little bit of this to you really quick. The fire was nearly 1,000 acres by Tuesday evening. But before that, a fast-moving blaze is burning near the airport in West Maui, Hawaii, as firefighters scramble to save nearby homes. I'm going to show you these nearby homes because they are nearby, very close. The fire was nearly 1,000 acres by Tuesday evening, according to the Maui Fire Department. About 40 fire personnel, 3 air units, and several tankers, dozers from the county and private partners are responding to the Maui fire, said. This is going on as we speak right now, guys. So you could probably get live satellite views of this somewhere. It said first responders evacuated Kapaula Airport and the homes in Kahana Ridge and Alahaku subdivisions due to the fire. An emergency shelter was opened in a local civic center, which is really good. So this is pretty serious. If they're opening shelters, that's for these air. In fact, whatever. Let's just look at the area here. So we can clearly see this is where the fire was. We saw that rim burning right here. So if we back out, you can kind of see what the deal is here, where this is coming from. It looks like it came from this area here, and because of the downflow of this mountain, you know, fire usually wants to move up, but for some reason this thing's cutting this way, like this. And then check this out. Look what's right here. Like, we're talking, this airport is a few hundred yards, maybe, give or take. Let's measure it. We'll go to yards, because I know it's not even a mile. I mean, you see the fire right here. It's right on this cusp right here, about to hit the airport. And we'll measure from there to this first house here. 460 yards away. I mean, you could almost guarantee some of these houses are going to be in trouble. And not only that, but they're lined by trees. So all this green you see here is all just very dry. It's a very dry season right now in Hawaii. And these like little rolling hills and stuff, like, they aid in helping fire move. So if they're not doing something drastic right now to cut a line here, which probably wouldn't do much with the winds going on, these houses are in trouble. And look at some of these places. Unbelievable. These houses are huge. I mean, big money right here. This is big, big money, especially right on the ocean. I mean, right now, in my opinion, the only thing that's going to stop this fire is the ocean. I mean, look at this. Some of these places, this is more of a town setting here. But I mean, talk about luck. Like, of all the places, you scroll up right here, this area right here, it's just all dry, flat land for the most part. Dry riverbeds here. Dry, dry, dry. So this is going to be an ongoing situation. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff going on in California. I haven't covered much of those fires, but this popped up in my feed. Smaller airport. Not that takes away from anything, but, you know, if you consider Maui's pretty big. You can see the central area of Maui's right here. And then the other airport, I think, is right in this area. Or at least it should be. Regardless, it doesn't really matter, but there's two major airports in this area. There it is, this one over here. It's right on the water, actually. Here we go. See, this is the major airport in Maui now, which isn't really under threat for fire at the moment. But if one area is, that means the other area is. I mean, what could have caused this fire besides wind and a Santa Ana effect? I say that because of California. The winds come down the mountains in California, and they cause the Santa Ana winds. I lived in Simi Valley for a while. We were right at the bottom of a hill, and those winds would whip 40, 50 miles an hour some days, garbage cans rolling down the street, and that's just a normal day in that part of California. So you can understand why these fires spread so quickly. Look at all this. This is all going to burn, all of this, unless they contain it. This airport, man, it makes you wonder. I'm not even getting into it. It makes you wonder, though. I mean, look at the outskirts of this airport. It looks run down. Looks like an older building. You guys kind of catch what I'm throwing down right now? That's all I'm going to say. Who's hiding comments? Audio and visual. I like memes. Good morning, audio and visual. How are you? Yeah, right? Look at the water. You know, sometimes you could scroll through here and see sharks. I've caught a few sharks on here. And ghost planes, shipwrecks. Guys, there's so many directions I want to take this channel, but a lot of people get mad when I just don't report the weather. I love reporting weather, but I want to report other stuff too. That's interesting. I'm surprised there's no boats out here. But anyway, I mean, just look at this area, guys. So this area is very, very modern. I guess you could say modern. Maybe not. Look at the roofs. But anyway, it looks like a half decent area. It looks nice. You know, this coast area, you got the road here. The tree line's not so good for fire situations, but then you got this. Like, what is this? Why was this never built on? It could be government property. Chances are it is if there's an airport right here. They usually surround airports with non-populated areas, but this is scaring me right here. These houses I got to keep an eye on. These are all big, very expensive houses, and that fire is about 700 yards away. Airport's 4 and change away. We just got to wait and see. So with that said, let's see if there's anything else in that article I want to read for you guys. I want to strongly urge our residents and visitors to avoid the Kapoola area as our first responders fight this fire. Mayor Michael Victorino said, "Please keep the families affected by these fires and our public safety personnel in your thoughts and prayers." That's what we're doing right now. Here's another shot of it. I'm not going to keep it on too long, but you can see that 20 airport coming this way, fire cutting this way, moving right towards those houses we just showed on Google Earth right here. It was just a reverse view. They were looking this way. We zoom back out. You see that view right here? That is this view right here. So the fire is moving towards the ocean, right towards these houses. So, oh man. And then, yeah, here's that other airport I was talking about on the northwestern part of this island. And here's the airport we are talking about. Actually, no, the airport was down here somewhere. Anyway, regardless, that's what's going on in Hawaii right now. We'll get rid of those so I don't double dip. The polar vortex. Check this video out. Okay, I told you we're jumping all over the place right now, but I wanted to show you guys this yesterday. This is what determines our jet stream. So picture the jet stream as a giant circle that goes all over the North Pole of the Earth, okay? So we have the U.S. here. Here's Alaska. There's little band islands in Alaska. Over here would be like China, Japan, North Korea, South Korea. Then we got all the areas up here by the North Pole, which is shifting, by the way, towards Siberia. So with that shift, everything around here is going to shift. So the jet stream is one giant loop around the top of the Earth. It does break into different pieces, causes different high and low pressures, but I'm just going to play this very quickly for you, and you're going to kind of see how the Earth tilts down and then becomes our jet stream. So our jet stream is influenced thousands and thousands of miles before it actually gets to us. So that's what controls our weather. That's what controls force fields that block hurricanes or that aid in hurricanes, or the exact reason why we saw this. So, or the video rather. This is exactly why it took me a little bit to figure out why we're seeing a storm that is lower than the upper level clouds being forced by the shear wind. Remember the shear wind chart we just looked at? I know I'm being repetitive right now, but that you have to be with this stuff. So this is upper level winds right here, 30,000 feet flowing in this direction. So most of everything is going to flow in this direction and then up, at least for today. Jet stream is going to change, as you're going to see in the chart I'm going to show you. But because of that, we have this. So the upper level winds are getting sheared and put in the right direction. This low pressure system is lower to the ground, dropping more rain, more intense, more lightning. It's below that 30,000 foot threshold, which means it can move in its own direction. So that's why it's moving in a southwestern direction. It's being pancaked by the jet stream itself. Upper level areas are being pushed up into the northeast. Lower area levels are allowed to be influenced by other pressures, which is what's going on. There's a very big high pressure over Texas right now, and that's what's forcing that storm down. So although it looks a little odd, we do have an explanation for it, and that's what we like to do here. We like to figure things out and not leave a lot of stuff up for question or debate. Even though I'm wrong sometimes, it happens, but not there. I know I'm right about that. The Arctic, yeah, the Arctic is a lot warmer than it should be right now. Thank you for being here, True Helper. And yes, thank everyone for being here. So, all right, what else did we want to talk about here? We got Maui fires we covered. All right, let's talk about the NFL and give our friend Tracy a shout out because she deserves it. She helped out big time with something. So, like I said with the NFL, it is weather related. It has to do with the tornado. So, But don't get discouraged. I'm going to be doing more news stuff on here too, which it's a good idea. Trust me. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Twitter. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard of her, but she's a big activist online now. She's on like a really popular podcast now. I've known her for a couple years. And we exchange info sometimes. So I sent her this story about the NFL. And I know it would be right up her alley because she's all about activism and, like, you know, setting people straight. So I have a lot of respect for this girl, this woman. She's doing a great job. She has a podcast 3 days a week, and I will definitely link that for you guys, for those of you that want to check it out. God, she posts so much. We'll find it. 20. Here we go. Okay, so this is what I posted yesterday, and then I sent this to her. So she goes, "This is despicable. They postponed interrupting the Dallas game Sunday to warn people about the dangerous and deadly tornadoes in Dallas, where the game was being played, because of ratings. This is absolutely abhorrent." And I agree with that. So she tagged me in the post, and it got a lot of attention quick. So this was actually about 3 hours ago. And USA Today has actually responded to this. I can't find the response, but I'm going to post that later on. They responded to her article, which was linked to my article, which is right here. And they actually left a comment and then removed it. So I got a comment from a CBS affiliate talking about how, oh, they care about people. I forget exactly how it was worded. I should have taken a screenshot. It was unbelievable. I've never had like a media outlet come out to me like that before, but you know, it happens, and I'm okay with it because we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't violate copyright, and you know what? It's information people need to understand and see. So, all right, we're done with the jet stream today. Now, all right, we're going to talk briefly about, but yeah, anyway, so Tracy Beans. Sorry, guys. Let me finish my thought here. I'm all over the place. It happens. My brain's fresh. So here's Tracy Beans. Very popular on YouTube, clearly. And you can get her at twitter.com/Tracy Beans. 3 days a week, she has a podcast, very popular podcast, doing very well. And I recommend you go check her out. She's a voice of reason these days. And she says things that I can't really say. So what do we got here? All right, so this is more about the meteor shower. We went over that. It already peaked, so I'm not setting any dates for you guys to go out and look at it. But I'm saying if you give it a chance, maybe tonight, go check it out. You might be able to catch one or two. Here's the American Meteor Society website. They verified that meteor that shot right across the center of the country I mentioned yesterday. So had I actually made that report, it would have been us at Into Thin Air Family that would have broke that news. More NASA information. If you'd rather watch online, Stonehenge's year-round camera. Yeah, so Stonehenge has a camera where you can watch, and they catch some pretty cool meteors, but I like seeing them with my own eyes. I don't know about you guys. All right, so as of right now, besides the last thing we're going to talk about with this invest in the Gulf, which we know the Gulf is still just blowing up with heat right now, but not much going on in the U.S. as far as weather. That cold air is lifting up over the Great Lakes finally, but we do have this system moving in just underneath the Great Lakes, right across Iowa into Illinois and then Indiana, and then we're going to see it come into the west part of Kentucky, Tennessee. We got to keep an eye on this, guys, because this is going to cause a severe threat. In fact, what this is going to do is it's going to come across. I wish I could show you more into the future. I would use tropical tidbits, but they've been a little sketchy these days. This thing's going to come down like this and then flow up, and then you see this mess down here. This is going to start flowing back up again, and we're going to have a twisty little thing coming up here, and we could see some very severe weather for the Outer Banks of North Carolina, that little part of Virginia here, the inlet of Chesapeake Bay, and it's going to kind of swirl right in this area. So we could see severe weather, and the back end of that, guys, we may see our first snowfall in New York, Pennsylvania, and the Northeast states. So just kind of picture this flow coming like this. It's going to come right across here, and then as that's happening, we're going to have an upflow here from the Gulf, and these things are going to mix into two separate systems, just like we saw with the nor'easter right as Nestor was down in the Gulf here. We saw that one big swirl of low pressure up here and another one down in this area. So when that happens, you see a lot of mess going on here. We had 97-mile-an-hour winds by Massachusetts because of that nor'easter, and that thing barely clipped us. That wasn't even really on land. A little bit of it came in towards Pennsylvania, New York, but it was all rain, just like we've had the last couple days. So we're going to keep an eye on that for sure. You can see these straight line upflow winds, guys. That's strong stuff, and that's why we're seeing that. Or did I get rid of it? I did. I got rid of it, but what are you going to do? Get rid of that. We're using this now. So anyway, back to why we could be seeing hurricanes at least until November. November 30th is the end of hurricane season, give or take. You could see one after. You could see them well before April, in the beginning of the season. But just check out this chart, Tropical Intensity Index. This basically shows you where cyclones can form, highly favorable. Look at this area. This is straight from the west coast of Africa. You can't see Africa here, but this is our warm water belt that we always tend to follow, maybe a little bit north of it. And these storms usually come down this way. Irma, Maria, you name it. All those big head honcho storms all came from the West African coast, and they come right through the Leeward Islands. They'll either come underneath, they'll come above, and then towards the Bahamas and clip in this way. They could come up the East Coast, but this part of October is very, very key. In fact, it peaks in September, comes down near October, and then right around the end of October, guys, for some reason, there's a big up jump in cyclone activity for the Atlantic Ocean, and no one really knows why. It's weird. It's been constant for the last 20-something years. Here's another heat index chart of the ocean. Look at the Caribbean, the Caribbean. This is the Mid-Caribbean, South Caribbean, and the Gulf. The Gulf center is very warm. We have 85-degree temperature water in the Gulf still. It's incredible. In fact, I could show you a heat index chart right here. This is Mike's weather page. Great source of weather charts and stuff like that. It takes a little while to learn how to read them, but once you do, you have such a better idea. Here's that chart I want to show you. Look at this. Tell me this isn't on point right now. So September 10th is where we peak. Like September 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, that week, we've seen major hurricanes that week. That's why usually when people are saying like August and, the end of August, they're like, why haven't we had any hurricanes? And then all of a sudden, boom, we get 10 storms within this period of time right here on this peak. And then look how it goes down through the end of September into the beginning of October, and then we have an uptick right there. Where does this come from? And where does that come from? I mean, this is low level down here, so it's rare, but this isn't that far-fetched. And to see an invest right now, that it makes sense to me. So we're just at the 23rd. So basically, we're right here. That's within a fair range of this peak in this area, and then we should expect things to go downhill. We'll talk about next year. I can already make predictions about next season, and it's going to be nothing like this season, I'll tell you that much. So we'll get rid of that, and then back to the heat intensity chart I originally wanted to show you. You know what? We got to look at this now since we talked about fires. So check this out. High wildfire danger returns to parts of California Friday. So anyway, I was talking about the Sierra Nevada mountains. Now, Simi Valley, where I used to live, is right in this area here, and this wind would come down the mountains, and boom, it would come right out to the coast. So winds going towards the coast, a lot of the fires, they burn, and they move this way. So the closer the fire is to the Sierra Nevada mountains, the worse it could be as it moves out into this direction. Up here by San Francisco, very high area for fires right now, also due to the winds. Got some parts out here by Arizona, Nevada, right on the border there, and then high fires in the southern area of, this would be like LA County, South LA, Los Angeles, all those areas. So very high risk for fires going on over the next couple days. I'm sure we'll be talking about that as well. Anyway, back to the heat index that I keep forgetting to show you guys. In fact, how are you guys? Lots of Pennsylvania. Yeah, a lot of people from Pennsylvania. We're repping, like Breaking Benjamin. They're all from Pennsylvania. Oh, I got to pick a song for the day. What do you guys want for the song of the day? This is the heat index. Unbelievable. I had it up the whole time. I mean, just look at that color right there. That's as high as it gets. So they're talking about this invest, which is right here, 30% chance over 5 days. That's a decent start. That is a decent start for an invest, or a pre-invest, we could call it. It would be a storm 19, I believe, or no, storm 16, probably 17, give or take. It would be storm 17. Sorry, I have to keep checking this phone, make sure we're still good here. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. All right, we can get rid of that. Mike's weather page, we're going to keep up. We trust your music. Oh, man, you put me on the spot. Crazy Chicken Dude, you made it. I saw your comment yesterday, man. I was like, oh, he missed it again. Yeah, Karen, you've been here for a minute. You're an OG. Norway Tracking hasn't showed up, though. He said he would be here, and now he's not here. It's all good, though. All right, couple more things, guys, and then we're going to wrap this up for now. I got to go play with the GoPro for a little bit. So basically, the last thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, so before blah, 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 merchandise, yeah. So within the next 30 hours, 24 hours, you're going to see merchandise underneath the channel. Now, yeah, I know, it's kind of cliche on YouTube to see a bunch of t-shirts and coffee mugs down here. I think I avoided the coffee mug, but the socks are awesome. Socks are great. And I use the Into Thin Air logos and stuff like that. Now, if you guys want to see anything in particular, I will do that, because you could do a lot of stuff with that website. You can make individual shirts and this and that. So I'm doing a Halloween special shirt because I just love Halloween. I'm going to make that a yearly thing, and I'm going to do Halloween every 6 months because that's how it should be, in my opinion. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. The merch is going to be available. Take it or leave it. Seriously, does not matter to me. I just figured I'd give you guys the option of doing so. So I think it's cool. It expands the channel. That's what we're trying to do here. I'm doing this full-time now. So this is a full-time YouTube channel. We have the backup channel at Into Thin Air News. If you guys could go over there and subscribe to that, that'd be amazing. You never know what YouTube's going to pull on you. You know, I try to keep everything legal. Sometimes I'll scroll up and hit a picture, but, you know, it happens. Usually they just demonetize the video. I'm not worried about that either. We have a Patreon account, which you can see in the description box below. PayPal account, you know, use it at your own free will. We don't really advertise it that much, but I got to point it out now because we have a lot of new stuff on the site. So, all right, with all that nonsense out of the way, the last thing, and finally I'm going to finish my point here with the invest and the possibility of cyclones in the ocean. So we'll bring up tropical tidbits real quick, see if there's anything in the near future. Nice. The buffer's working real good. I like that. Tropical tidbits, forecast models. We're going to go to regions, and we're going to check out the entire ocean, and we're going to change it to the 850 wind map, because this is where you really see the profiles of storms happening. So, and I don't think we're expecting much of anything right now. So we got this. This is what we're talking about with the high wind rates coming up, you know, the Outer Banks, Virginia, Chesapeake Bay. So that's going to be today, and that thing's going to move out just below Connecticut, Long Island, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. So hopefully that stays true. Then we got this system coming, which is going to be interesting. This is what we talked about before, the back end of that high pressure system. And just look at that. That's what caused that big swirl over the Great Lakes. And you see some of that severe weather there, the gale force winds there. And they came and went quickly, but that's a big system. And we could be seeing that outlined a lot this year. High pressure bubble. High pressure is a force field. Remember, these low pressures move around it. They're forced by it. That's why all this weather is moving up and over top of it. And this is also what's aiding and pushing that big blob storm we saw back down into Mexico. Very rare to see that, but that's what happened. Now, as we move into the future, this is what we were talking about. This is shooting right up the central / eastern states, kind of up through Mississippi, Alabama, and then we got Kentucky, Tennessee, right there. Now, this is going to be a tornado situation, guys. So come the 26th on Saturday, I may not be here. I have some Halloween obligations, but I'll be here early. So I'll be up early to talk about this. But this looks like it's more of an afternoon storm. It's in the 18th hour of the day. You can see up here, 18Z, Saturday. You back up, it's 12. This would be 6 a.m. This would be midnight on Saturday. So nothing by midnight. By 6 a.m., we have a little bit of scattered stuff over northern Alabama, Mississippi, and then it starts getting pretty crazy by noon. So noon is where we're going to start watching the east side of Kentucky and Tennessee, and then it just gets pretty crazy. So we could be seeing by 6 o'clock at night some very severe weather in the central east coast of the U.S., and that is topped by a low-pressure system up here, so that may flatline it. And that's kind of why you see it come all the way up into Pennsylvania and New York before it begins to dissipate. It's a little bit colder up here, so it does spread the weather out. Unless it's moisture, that could become snow. But this dip in the jet stream, guys, comes all the way into the Gulf. You see that 150 right there? Comes straight down, and then we have low pressures lined up all over it. So it's prime time for that type of weather. And we're still dealing with tornadoes. I mean, that Dallas tornado was no joke. I believe it was an EF2. Maybe an EF3, and then that other one in Dallas was an EF1. Still, 2 tornadoes in a day. I mean, that just came out of nowhere. And then for a while, we're going to have a high-pressure system over the U.S. through November. We're getting a little far ahead of ourselves here, but there is one right there. Look. So even towards the middle of November, this right here could be a possible invest as far as a hurricane. As of right now, no threat to the U.S., but to tie this all together, what I wanted to explain is that we still have the tropical intensity index very high. When you see this red color, this is cyclone formation area. And right around the Caribbean now is where we start seeing those storms. We had that storm Nate a couple years back that formed right in the South Caribbean, shot straight through this gap. Didn't even touch Cuba or Cancun, Mexico. This thing shot straight through, got huge, and then boom, went straight through the center of the country. One of the fastest storms we ever saw moving. Sorry, who's this? Oh my God. Yeah, you can. And I think that's all we had covered. Everyone okay? Everyone satisfied? Friday or Saturday? Are you asking me that, Teresa? Friday or Saturday for what? I think Halloween's on Thursday. Halloween's the best. Later, crazy chicken dude. Glad you made this one. First one. Sorry, I'm reading this now. When you walk through a storm. Okay, that is definitely a possibility. I'm going to have to listen to it. All right, I got a verification from Tanis on Jay, so that's going to be the song of the day. Song of the day is going to be When You Walk Through a Storm. I'll go find it. I'll post it. I'm decorating starting today, Karen. Murphy's Law. How are you, Murphy's Law? Pretty sure I've seen you in here. Thanks, Harmon. Appreciate it, bud. We covered a lot. I like covering a lot, so. Straight face. I was gonna do Joker this year, but everyone wants to be Joker. I'll do my own version of Joker. Gatlinburg, huh? How long's the honeymoon? I like emotional song. I'm all about lyrics. Lyrics and harmony. Oh, yeah. So one more time, guys. Twitter is twitter.com/intothin-air. And then Instagram would be Instagram/intothin-air-news. So we've always had the news title. We just don't do much news, but I want to. Thank you, True Helper. I was just going to ask you to do that. Backup channel is important, especially these days on YouTube. So, oh, and we have. How do I find this without showing you guys all my private info? Actually, all right, I'll put that in the next video. We have a new web forum, like a chat forum for people to go to when we're not doing videos here. So I highly recommend you guys all check that out, even though I have not given you anywhere to go yet. Just keep in mind, I'm recommending you to check it out. Just making sure we're not missing anything here. We got a verification from Mike about the tropics here. So, National Hurricane Center AM update on this tropical at 30% wave merging with an old frontal energy in the lower Gulf this week. Yes. Should get pulled up into the upper Gulf towards this weekend as another front approaches. Models not expected about any development. That's true. It's 30%, so we can't really base much on it yet. Again, I mean, here it is. It's forming right in that tropical intensity chart map. Right here, this thing is forming right in the dark red, and it's going to come right over Mexico. And just like Nestor, guys, this thing was pulled in. If I had the mimic chart, I'd show you. This thing was pulled in from the Pacific Ocean, the South Caribbean, and this little pocket here. And you saw this thing start swirling, 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 and then all of a sudden, boom, it was right there. So these things will cross land before they actually form. Now, once they're formed and they're actually cyclones, once they hit land, they dissipate. So it's very interesting how the formation of these storms will bypass those laws almost, and they will get sucked up into an area, and then once they're an actual tight cyclone, boom, they hit land and they expand. So it's like they pick and choose. I wouldn't say pick and choose their influence, but it seems like they pick and choose. So NFL's in trouble. I'm not letting that go either. Thank you, True Helper. Perfect. In fact, let's open this and make sure. There we go. All right, so yeah, that's the Twitter. Or that's the Instagram, rather. And we'll just make sure that the Twitter works as well. Mobile Twitter, it doesn't matter, same website, twitter.com/intothin-air. In fact, let me get rid of this real quick. Here's the Twitter for Into Thin Air. So we have a photography channel too, but it's on the Instagram is the photography channel. So anyone that wants to send in pictures, sky shots, sky anomalies, big time. Make sure they are raw photos, no editing whatsoever. Sometimes you got to shrink them to send them, but if you send it through Gmail, I'll give a Gmail account to Tanis, and they could post it actually. In fact, you know what? I'll just post it. I don't care. Use this email to send me pictures if you want. This goes for pictures, videos, anything you guys want to see on the site. I post pretty much anything people send me. I actually have some pretty cool pictures sent to me by a friend of mine in Pennsylvania whose friend lived in Florida during Hurricane Michael, and they have these oyster shells in their basement from how bad they got flooded. They were about 120 yards from the beach, and they have oyster shells all over their basement. Unbelievable. But yeah, it's wild, right? It's crazy. I know 100 yards isn't that far, but you know. See you later. I used to go to bed at 6 a.m. Now I get up at 6 a.m. Me too. Oh my God, I've been posting videos at 4 in the morning. So you're not the only one. You're not alone there. These earphones kill me, man. In fact, I'm getting new ones, like smaller. Like I'm getting like an external microphone, so I don't have to wear these things anymore. There we go. All right, guys. So I think we're good for now. We went over a lot of everything. We got the hurricane out of the way. We got the intensity chart out of the way. This is over a 5-day period, 30%. Expect this to go up. This is going to go up a little bit. I don't know what it's going to turn into. We're at letter O. I believe it's, what is it, Olivia? Olga? I got to look that up. And this chart. And then the most important part of today was the fact that we caught a meteor like this. See this thing right here? U.S. Weather or Not? We might name that the show. U.S. Weather or Not. The question mark and the pumpkin. But yeah, so anyway, all jokes aside, I'm going to play this one more time and I'm going to let you guys go. So this is an actual confirmed meteor caught on the infrared chart, weather chart. So you guys can catch these. Go to this website and you watch it like I watch it religiously. You will see stuff like this, especially during peak meteor shower times. Here it comes. Boom, right there. I'm going to do it again. I know it's quick, sorry. Right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. So there you have it. We caught one live. It was reported on American Meteor Society, and I'm proud of that. Jetstream's whacked. Oh, and finally, here's the temperatures for today. Tell me it's not turning into winter yet. Dun dun. This one area right here is just like, come on. And check out the drastic difference between South Florida, which is basically, you know, the Bahamas and the Caribbean, compared to Central Florida, 66 or 80 degrees at 9:23 a.m. in the morning. It feels a little warmer than 45 in PA, but all right, I'm done rambling. You guys good? Everyone cool? We'll have another video later today. True Helper has got me laughing right now. What was this? It was a full blue moon. Oh my God, excuse me. Alright, that means this is a wrap. I can't be yawning live. You don't show weakness here. Alright guys, we're going to end this now. True Helper, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that showed up this morning. I know it was a little early, but you guys are great. You guys are loyal, and yeah, Murphy's Law. We're gonna be going live more and more because it's just, why not? You know, it's easier. We do tend to get off subject a little bit, but hey, what are you gonna do? But anyway, finally, guys, again, thank you so much for showing up. Live is so easy. Yeah, it's easy. Wait, is that my mom? There she is. And of course she posts at 9:20. We have this thing with numbers in our house. I'm 5:20, she's 7:20, and of course she posts at 9:20. But yeah, that's my mom. I'm a mama's boy. What can I say? Yeah, they're MP4s. I record through an editing program, so. Yeah, True Helper, thank you so much. Murphy's Law, tell my mom you said hi. All right, we're ending this now, guys. It's been a minute, so. In fact, how long has it been? An hour and 9 minutes. All right, we try to keep these an hour because then they upload quicker. So we're 9 minutes over. All right, guys, if you want, check out the NFL article. Please check out the article about the meteor shower, which could actually be peaking tonight, not last night, depending on the weather. Check out that Invest, as we're going to be checking it out. And here is that polar video I had been meaning to show you. See the jet stream all the way up over the North Pole. As you come down, here's our jet stream. Isn't that amazing? And then you got the different flows down in this area based on this. These flows actually cause other flows. That's an uplift. That's a downlift. This would be like a winter situation. Comes straight across. And then you got it right there. That's all there is to it, guys. It's very simple. All right, I'll leave the chat open for a little bit, but I'm ending the stream live. Thank you guys very much. Have a great day. Thank you. Tan, True Helper. Talk to you soon. And I got to get in touch with Norway Tracking. All right, guys. Take care. Have a great morning. Talk to you soon. Bye.